everybody, Jackie Ludledge here with Creative Scrapbooker magazine. Today I want to show you how I created this mystical, magical card using some of my favorite products right now that I have absolutely fallen in love with. One of them is what you see right here. This is a label that I created using my Brother P-Touch Cube. And this is a game changer, folks. The stuff that you can do with the P-Touch Cube is incredible for adding journaling, for making ribbon for packages, bows, and different kinds of things like that, with designs on them along with sentiments. It's just absolutely incredible. I'm absolutely in love with my P-Touch Cube from Brother, and that's what I use to make this entire label that you see right here. The next thing that I'm excited to use are a whole bunch of products from Lavinia Stamps. Starting off with this Color Burst collection of pattern paper, and that's what I used right here in the background. So this, if you don't have time to create all these funky backgrounds using a gel press and all different kinds of things like that, these pattern papers are fantastic. So I grabbed a piece of pattern paper out of here. Look at these backgrounds, stunning. And I used a Gina Designs die, and I cut out the background. So it's a little bit slightly different, not quite as light as that one, and that's okay. So let's start creating that background. The first thing that I'm going to do is grab my Ranger Magnetic Make Art board from Wendy Vecchi. That right on into place using the magnets. Then I'm going to grab my Lavinia Acetate circle masks. These are fantastic for making moons and suns and different things like that. I love it. Here is this one, if you can see it. And I'm just going to pop that about there where I want it, the moon to be. And I'll use my magnets to put it in place. There we go. That's not going anywhere. So we'll start off with some white. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow scattered straw. So now we'll take that back, and we've created ourselves a moon in the background. But we still want it to pop out a bit more, okay? So we'll get to that later. The next thing that I want to do is add some more darkness around the edges of my background. So I'll start off with this green here. We're just going to add around the edges. Okay, and then we'll add a second color, the pine needles. Now, to make the moon pop even more, I'm going to take the mask from the Lavinia Acetate circle masks that I showed you at the beginning, and I'm just going to pop it right over top of the moon right there, and I'll pop a magnet in place to hold it down, and then I'm going to go back in with my forest moss, and I'm going to circle around, and I'm going to start on the I'm going to start on the acetate itself and work out. Here's the big reveal. Pop that off. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's the moon that we've created. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make sure that this distress ink is all nice and dry. And I prefer to do this with a dry iron. and I'll show you how I do that. I grab some clean newsprint, it's a big pile of it, pop it in there like that, and then I have a nice hot dry iron, and I just dry over top. I iron over top of it to make sure that it's nice and dry all the way through before I stamp on top of it, because I don't want any of the colors to bleed through or anything like that. Okay, and I'll also turn it over and I'll do the back side as well. When you use a dry iron to dry your ink, make sure that you never add water. It's dry, so no steam, just a nice dry heat. The other thing that I like about drying like this is that it keeps the project nice and flat. There's no wrinkling. It dries all the way through. So there we go. Nice and dry. I'm going to now add some of these cute little Lavinia. This is another Lavinia stamp. I'm going to add some of the foliage that you see at the bottom there. And I'm going to do a number of different layers. So a first value stamp, a second value, and a third value. This way we create depth. So in the background, it looks like the bushes go or the grass goes further back, and then there's some more center stage. So it gives the stamping some depth. So there we go. We created that lovely background of the foliage. So I'll just pop this on here. I like to use repositionable adhesive to keep this from not moving. Okay, and I think I want her to go right there. How gorgeous is that? So I'm going to add a little bit of stars here and there that you see using this Lavinia stamp. And again, I'm going to be using first values, second values, and third values to create that depth. I use my Dylusions black marble gel paint pen to add some dots here and there and everywhere. I'm going to use an Ali Edwards gold pen, and I'm going to add some gold dots here and there and everywhere. And then finally I'm going to use my Kelly Creates white pen, and I'm going to add some white dots. I just want a ton of dots on here. I think dots look make it look so mystical and magical. And the final thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab my gel pen again, and I'm going to go around an edge and create this little edge that you see, the little line along the dots. Now I'm going to mat it with some black cardstock using my Glue Dots Adhesives Permanent Tape Runner. And then I'll mat it on top of a piece of green cardstock. And then I'm just going to set it aside and let that ink dry. So what I'm going to show you now is how I created this label using my Brother P-Touch Cube. Oh, man, I absolutely adore this. It's perfect for card making, for scrapbooking layouts, and of course it's perfect for labeling things. But its added bonus is that you can also print on ribbon. So basically you open it up, you pull this open, and here is your cartridges that they come like this, and you pop them in, bada boom, bada bing. There you go, all done. Then you download the Brother P-Touch Design and Label app. Like that. Select your P-Touch printer. Make sure that you're connected to the same internet on both of your devices, and that your Bluetooth is on, and that you've selected your P-Touch cube. And then I've already got this one right here on the screen that I designed. So I created the frame that you see around there and the titles that you see in there. And there are so many options for using this. This is just a really basic one that I'm going to show you here today, but I will definitely be showing you more things that this beautiful P-Touch cube can do from Brother. So I'm going to hit print. I want one copy. And there it comes. Look at that. Watch how easy this cuts. Just like that, and it's perfectly cut out. Isn't that awesome? Totally awesome. So what I did was I removed the protective backing, and it's because it's adhesive, and I adhered it to a piece of white cardstock, and then I adhered it to a piece of black cardstock to frame it. Isn't that awesome? Now I'm just going to pop it up right there on my card using my glue dots, pop-up dots. For an added little bonus, I am going to do some stickles, add some stickles here and there and everywhere on the card to make it pop out. I'm also going to do it on the fairy wings so that they glitter. You can see that they're glittering. So I'm just using my Ranger stickles. And then I'm going to add just some of these little dewdrops, raindrops that you see here. So by doing that, I just take some clear adhesive, a dot on there, and then I use my pickup tool of choice. This is a Studio Katcha one, to pick them up and pop them down. Just like that. And that's all there is to it. Now you're ready to adhere this onto a card base of your choice. I chose white to really make it jump out, but isn't that stunning? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Grab your Lavinia stamp and grab your Brother P-Touch cube labeler and start having some serious fun. Happy scrapbooking, everyone.